Okay, tried doing the street house before, but had memory problems and then lost the light. So, well, first quick update. Get this in first. That payment we thought we were gonna get, turns out it happened early in the month. Already got it and spent it. So we're down to I got PayPal zeroed out, and the checking account's less than it was around 30 cents per time. Actually, no, my checking account is overdrawn.
Overdrawn.
It's overdrawn, yeah. So and the other one's like 30 cents. I need money. Okay. Hey, YouTube, you're not helping things with this crap. No.
And call 911 101.
Hopefully next week will be a whole new thing because things are starting to roll a little faster than expected on the business thing. So sometime next week, hopefully we'll actually get some real money, be able to get the van fixed and get out of here and pretty much carpet bomb the Central Florida area with bookmarking stuff on Trulia for places that live. There's some real nice places on it. I can get a hold of. Actually, yeah, there's one in Palatka. There's one in one in Sebring is the one we really want. I'm really curious about there.
Yeah, the one in Gainesville is one.
And there's one up in there's all over. We're trying to avoid the coast.
Like the play.
Yes. The wife has very bad memories of hurricane season in Florida, so we're trying to avoid being right in the target area.
Either coast, for that matter.
Yeah, but especially the Atlantic coast. So, on to the thing here. A little thing about how mirror universes work in the Star Trek universe, and I'll be fair. In this respect, Discovery hasn't violated things too badly. It's all the other things that have gone on with it that they've grown up. But as far as, and I don't think they even realize themselves how this works. But basically, you go back to City on the Edge of Forever with the concept of time as kind of a river or fluid type thing. It and it's following a certain path through whatever reasons. And disrupting that, like a change in the timeline is kind of like throwing a boulder in the middle of that stream. I mean, yeah, you might have some still going through, but a lot of it's going to be going around that stream. That's your divergent timelines, the time stream going around the disruption. But it still tries to get back to the, generally it will try to go back to the original thing, unless there's something, disrupting that. But that's another issue. But that's how, conceptually, how you can justify mirror, Kirk being the commander and the same crew being on the ship, and just slight difference. It's the timeline trying to correct itself and return to its original path. And you can, and if you qualify the JJ verse as the same sort of thing, there's a disruption somewhere in there that threw things off, and it's trying to realign itself. So you still have Kirk and Spock and all on the Enterprise, although through very improbable means, but the timeline doesn't care about probability. It wants to realign itself. So it's going to bend, it's literally going to bend heaven and earth to get those things realigned. And in this case, the Burnham verse, yep, there are certain things that line up and certain things that aren't even close. And I don't know, with the mirror, let's see. With the JJ verse, I postulated the divergence happened sometime back during the temporal Cold War, and some offshoot of that, where Archer doesn't hit the reset switch quite right. I think the mirror universe, I think it predates that, but then also because when you change that, you're also changing any interference that timeline has. So you're going back, possibly Nero's going back could have been enough to change it, but because when it goes back and you change that, you effectively eliminate what the Enterprise crew did, like in going back in time to in Citizen Forever, Assignment Earth, and a few other things where Mars yesterday, where any changes they might have made, or because they weren't there, things happened that shouldn't have, and changed the timeline. It's like when Edith Keeler didn't die, then things happened that shouldn't have happened. That sort of thing.
You need a hotel room.
So that's how that works, and that's how you justify a lot of stuff here. But that's just justifying why you can, you still have an Emperor Giorgio and Captain Burnham on the Shinzo. the issues of why there's still a Shinzo is another issue there, and why it still looks like that way. That's down to other issues, and that can't be justified, frankly. I'm still waiting, to see what they do with the Defiant if they have the balls to actually show that ship. Because like I said, they've backed themselves into a corner with making the Discovery and the Shinzo so freakishly big. And I've already had some people singing the praises of the Constitution class ship within the universe of that show. So they can't go back to the established length of 947 feet after they've already given us a simple science vessel that's longer than the Enterprise E. And an old rattle trap like the Shinzo supposedly was, that's about the size of the Excelsior. Because remember, when the Excelsior showed, that was a massive increase. Wow, look at that big sucker. That doesn't work very well if within universe it's like, well, we had ships like that, 40 years ago bigger than that. So, it doesn't work as well. He's trying to undercut the entire thing. These people don't think that through. When they go, well, it could have been, no. I don't think they've even seen the original Star Trek Writer's Guide, Otherwise, I'd see, the Enterprise and the Starship class of that was the biggest and most powerful ships Earth has ever launched at that point. It doesn't work well when you start bringing out bigger ships prior to that. It's the same reason why the Kelvin doesn't work. That thing's the size of a Galaxy-class ship, for Christ's sake. With a crew of 800 or something? No. And I think the best thing, it's something that Larry Nemechek's doing with the Star Trek Files. First episode, check it out if you can't, Good stuff there, but they open up with a thing about the admission to the writers. Take your situation and translate it into another genre, a Western or a war movie or something. And would these people still act the same way under those circumstances? If they don't, if you say they wouldn't, then it's like they shouldn't under Star Trek either. And if your justification is that they act that way because it's science fiction, the exact quote is, if this is the way you feel, don't call us, we'll call you. Somehow they forgot all that. And you got everyone in this cast pretty much is doing the most idiotic things. On all sides, Federation, Klingon, everybody is a moron on this show, seems like. They're brilliant only because we are told they're brilliant. Not because of anything they've actually done. And everything we've seen is like, these guys are idiots. The Klingons are morons. And cannibals. Apparently, I think Brian Fuller spent a little too much time on Hannibal. He's got the Klingons as cannibals. He's got the Mirror Universe people, as technically cannibals, how's your Kelpian? Here, have my ganglia here. It's nice and tasty. After we've gotten to know, Saru somewhat. So yeah. And don't give me that, they're not human. They're that cannibal bull. Okay, you're eating another sentient species. You're a cannibal. Okay. That's why you never see me eating the elephant or dolphins. I consider elephants and dolphins are probably at least at the lower end of sentience. Okay? And God help me if they ever prove that pigs are sentient, then I'll... Because I like my bacon. Anyway, like I said, we are needing at least some lunch money to last us through the weekend at least. So, PayPal, Patreon, the hotel room would be really great right now. But right now, in the lowest rate, we're not doing too great right now. So, about $70 a night is the cheapest place we got around here. It'll take us and the cat. But we can get, you're making yourself more sick than anything else. Come on, talk. I know. But PayPal, Patreon down below. And we're gonna come this time next week. We hope to actually be rolling in some money and getting the hell out of here. Saying bye-bye to Colorado at least for a while. Hopefully by the end of this month. Especially if we can actually close on a place in Florida. Then it's just like, put the van on our trailer, load up the U-Haul, bye! Maybe bypass Virginia altogether for a while, just, take the stuff straight down to Florida. But that's going to be, ultimate if everything works right, and so far nothing has worked right in this whole experience. Something's gone around and screwed up somewhere. So I'll just be happy if by next week we can get the van working, we can get out of here, and then and then plot how to coming back and getting our stuff. But that's where we stand, folks. And here's it. We can get into the hotel room, then I'll be able to do that little response to John Campion's stance on the Star Wars and Star Trek franchises. And his opinion that Star Trek was a dying franchise. It's like, no, it wasn't, and there's a little inside baseball to explain why it wasn't. I mean, it looked like it was just, I would say, it was more dormant due to misuse by the owners and lack of interest by the fans. But notice what happened the second something came up that looked halfway decent. Everyone's back, so that's not a dying franchise. That's one that's been abused and is waiting for someone to come rescue it. Unfortunately, happened to be JJ. So that was short-lived. Witness the box office round back on Star Trek Beyond.
Anyway.
Alright. PayPal, Patreon down below, and catch you later.